Afterwards, I basically just had a ton of friends following me out. They were cheering on, and I, did some interviews with, I guess, just a ton of mics in my face, and it was kind of silly, and drank a beer that my friends threw at me. They were screaming like the whole time I was doing interviews, so it was a little bit tough to focus, but it was a lot of fun. So they all followed me out to the lobby, and it's like, what next? So we went up to my suite at the Rio that was comped. It was nice, but eventually we decided, we had to figure something out. But by the time we were figuring it out, it was like pretty late. I don't know, like 11 or midnight in Vegas on Saturday night. So getting any sort of good club situation put together just wasn't going to work very well for 60 to 100 people or however many people were coming to party. So we ended up getting a penthouse at the Palms Place, and I just ordered a ton of booze up there, and we tore it up, and we had a really fun night in Vegas. I think for a lot of the guys, it was their first time in Vegas, and I don't think it disappointed. I think we had a lot of fun, and that was all cool. Then I hung out with friends and family and stuff for a few days, went out a little bit more, did some more things, and then eventually went home for one day to Minneapolis. Took care of some interviews, some things at home, and then came out here to NAPT I didn't do anything Friday night because I was still exhausted from my week before in Vegas. So I landed, late-ish in the evening, and stayed in, crashed, got up, and went and played. My first table had Negreanu at it, which I played it almost all day, and it was pretty fun. For a good chunk of it, he was like really tired because he partied hard the night before. So he wasn't as talkative as I was, but by the end, yeah, the whole table was talking and having fun, and that's really the environment I really like to have at the poker table. A lot of good players at the table. That wasn't ideal, including Daniel, of course, but at least it was a fun table. So, I was up and down. I think I spewed pretty kind of badly in a few spots early on. I was playing a lot of hands, and then like specifically one hand, I really did not play well, where basically I had flopped a middle pair type hand against an aggressive player. Sorry, my phone is going crazy. Any case, I flopped middle pair, like called the flop. He checked when a flush draw came. River completed the flush, and he checked again really quickly. And I like sat and thought like against very good players, or at least players that will, or at least certain could be check raise bluffing with a good frequency on the river. It's a pretty thin value bet, especially in a tournament situation. So I don't always value bet there on the river with my middle pair, especially because I had a weak kicker. I had like 10-9 or something on like a king 10 x king board or something like that with backdoor spades. And but I decided, against this guy, I can comfortably bet like smallish, maybe get a crying call, and more importantly, I can comfortably fold to a check raise. Maybe he's capable of it. I just didn't know, and just going to err on the side of thinking he's probably not going to check raise bluff me there. So I make the small bet, looking like I have exactly what I want and feeling okay with folding to a check raise, and he snap check raises me 5x, and I thought it was 4x at the time for some reason. I'm just a fish live on occasion. At least that day, I must have been really tired. I did a couple stupid things like that. And I sat there, and I should have instantly folded. The plan was, the reason I bet is because I thought I could fold comfortably. And I talked myself into a call, and he had the nut flush with second pair as well. He had ace 10 of spades. So it was just really hard for me to see him check raising less than a flush on the river. The more I played with him now, I think he definitely could have check raised trips and stuff, but a lot of people just wouldn't. And and most people are going to double barrel the turn when they pick up a flush draw, and I just flat the flop. So I had like a hard time, seeing him have a hand he was comfortable check raising. It was poorly played by me. So not that big of a deal, but that was just kind of spewy, and I thought I'd talk about. Played a few other hands pretty well. I definitely lost a minimum once with an overpair versus a sat. Just really felt he was strong, etc. But pretty much I dropped down from 30K starting to like 14K, jumped up to like 45K, maybe even over 50 at some point. Lost some chips, doubled up a shorty, got down to 30, et cetera, et cetera. Got down to like 20 some blinds, got moved tables, won a couple hands here and there, and then ended up with a spot where a nice older guy from Minnesota who actually satellited in through Canterbury Park, our local card room, was a spot where I had like 24 blinds to start the hand, and I had raised, and he called, and then it was a king 9x 2 hearts flop, and I had 7-6 of hearts. He let in for me for like basically what my raise was, maybe a little bit less. So let's say there was like roughly, it was like the blinds were 1K, 2K, or sorry, 500, 1K. So I made it like 2,300 or something. He flatted, so there's like 46 plus the antes plus the small blind. He was a big blind. So there's a fair amount of money in the middle, and he bets like 2,300 on the flop. and I've got like 20 blinds total, flush draw, and in that spot, like so often I expect weaker players to be like leading with a nine, whatever, like second pair, like pocket eights, just to like blocker bet and fold, maybe even with a draw, which would beat me, but they will fold to a raise. They're just like trying to set a price and maybe take down the hand. So I like really quickly just shoved on him, and he just goes, "I'll gamble with you," and flips up and calls and flips up 10 jack of hearts. So I was drawing like near dead. I just pretty much had to pair my 6 or 7. But so I got it in flush draw under flush draw. Then the next I had 2 blinds left and lost with pocket fives the next hand. So not a big deal, but I made it to the end of the day. Then came back and had some fun with Dale Phillip. He's a new PokerStars Team Online Pro. Cool kid. I think he's going to have good things going for him in the future, and he was a lot of fun to hang out with. He actually is the one who just called me a few minutes ago. And I kind of was lazy yesterday. I didn't do a lot. I did a couple little interview things, stuff like that here in my hotel room, but I didn't do much. Today I'm probably going to head out to the bike, see who's around. I just got some texts and stuff the only word I saw in there was interview, so I won't be surprised if I might be doing a couple more interviews today, etc. But I am playing. They're doing an 81-person invitational bounty shootout. It's kind of a mouthful for the NAPT on Wednesday or Tuesday. And so there you have two heats on Tuesday. If you win your table, you go to the final table on Thursday, and it's supposed to be televised from beginning to end on ESPN. And I was invited to play, so excited about that. Being invited to a TV poker tournament, and I'm definitely going to play in it. Already bought in, so I'm here in LA at least through tomorrow to play that tournament. Outside of that, life's pretty good. I am kind of hoping that after the shootout, hopefully on Friday, because I want to win, I go home and at least just take a couple days off from everything. The new Call of Duty game came out, Black Ops, and I'd really like to play it a bunch. Just hang out with my wife, dog, maybe get to jam with the band if I can get them to do it on like a Friday. We usually do it on weekends or weekdays. But just be able to play some music, hang out, and just take a couple days off thinking about most of this. It's been, 4 months nonstop or 4 months with a lot going on. And really the last 3 weeks, it's been just nonstop. I've barely been home, and I've been interviewing nonstop, etc. So I'd like to just take a couple days and be a complete, lazy ass and just hang out and have fun. So that'd be my plan, but then I've got a lot to get back to, including grind. I want to, get online and play some cash games, figure out what tournaments I'm going to coming up, for sure, at least the PCA, but maybe something before. And we have Thanksgiving coming up, so I'll go home for that, to, my hometown most likely. Christmas, I certainly will go home for that. And, it's going to be the holiday season. I'm hoping I can take a little bit of time where I'm not worried too much about poker and finances and just, my professional life, and just take a little time. So this got really, really long because I don't shut up. 17 minutes. I couldn't imagine if I tried to type this. It would have taken me like 2 hours. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this format, and hopefully at least a few of you sat around till the end. This is Jason Senti for BlueFirePoker.com, PokerStars.net, signing off. And I guess I'll probably be doing this again pretty soon.